This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Nice follow-up question here from Mr. Eldridge. He says, had JR gotten the executive producer position instead of Eric Bischoff, what would some of his creative plans have been to turn WCW around? That's a fun little fantasy booking. Allegedly, once upon a time, you and Eric were both gunning for the same seat. He got the job, and slowly
I didn't.
He showed you the door, and it worked out. You wound up on the biggest run that the WWF ever had, and you were a big part of that, of course. And under his tutelage, they signed Hulk Hogan, and of course created the NWO and Goldberg, and they reached new heights as well. So it all worked out the way it was supposed to. But what if you had gotten the reins of that thing on the heels of Bill Watts? What would you have done?
Well, I'd have reprioritized wrestling, more physicality, more believability. Talent wise, I don't know if I would have had the vision or the motivation to go out and pay for a small farm for Hogan, knowing that he's going to be a part-time guy, knowing he's going to be the star of your television show, but he's not going to work live events. So a lot of it would depend on the budgets and the mandates and the head office and what you wanted and what they didn't want and so forth. But Eric did a great job in that role. I've always been impressed with what he did. And I'm not so sure I would have done better, because I think everything that happened was meant to be. My journey to WWE, my journey with with Vince was irreplaceable in my career. So I think it all ended up like it should be. But I would have probably emphasized a little bit more wrestling. Would try to get not too many cooks in the kitchen. And I think sometimes it seemed like, from an outsider looking in, that there are a whole lot of cooks in the kitchen there creatively, and that too many cooks can spoil the stew. But I thought Eric did a great job, and I don't know that I could have done better.
Here's one that, I think you're going to have a good take on, because we've never discussed it. So another what if. Christopher wants to know, in your early days as a referee, did you ever have the desire to be more involved, perhaps as a manager? WWE seemed to try this with you as the whole fake Razor and Diesel thing, and then again as Dr. Death. But was being an actual manager anything you ever wanted to do? And I don't think once you were an announcer, maybe that was probably your deal, but it is interesting to think, could you have transitioned from a referee to a manager? That seems like something you would have had fun with.
In my early days, I probably daydreamed it to get out of the refereeing job, which is thankless. Didn't make any money. I rejoiced when I made $60 a night. And that was later on. More often than not, it's at $40 all in too. It wasn't like you had a per diem. It's $40. That's it. Hotel, gas, food, send money home, $40 a day. That's why you wanted to be booked every day. That's why you didn't bitch and moan about being booked 7 days a week, because you're just doing the math at that point.
Right.
So if being a manager would have made me more money, and it would have, and I would have worked less, because as a referee in those days, we traveled one ref. So one referee called every match. Big card, 10 matches or 9, 8, he called them all. So being a manager, you're featured basically in one presentation. But I never seriously considered it as a career move. It just wasn't something and Cowboys managers seem to be getting blood every night, getting the shit beat out of them by the fans or the talent. And that didn't appeal to me a lot, to be honest with you. So the answer is no. I never really had that desire. But I will also amend it by saying the thought did cross my mind a few times, and it was for the wrong reasons. It was to get away from refereeing, and but not. I don't know. We were blessed with some good managers there. Cowboy has My God, he created Cornette and the Midnight Express.
Wow. Yeah.
You think I'm going to compete with Cornette in that particular role? I'm out of my league.
Probably not.
I'm out of my league, man, in that deal. I knew that when I started broadcasting, that if I was going to stay in pro wrestling and I was going to make a life of this stuff, which I have, it's got to be on the other side of the broadcast table. And that's kind of what I followed. I tried to get better at that job. And luckily, my skills were recognized by enough people that I've been able to make a living doing it. So I think I made the right turn in the road. But just as a fun thing or a fantasy booking deal, as you alluded to, Connie, I probably would have. It might have been worth a little bit of fun, but nothing full time, and it would taken me away from what I really wanted to do, which I was given the opportunity to do, and that was broadcast.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.